And we're back. Joining us now is candidate for the 14th City Council District. We welcome now the incumbent, Councilmember Fernando Cabrera. Good to have you.
Glad to be here.
Good. There's another race you're running.
Yes.
And as the incumbent, of course, people feel sometimes the incumbent has the advantage. But how do you feel about this particular election?
Well, I'm looking forward to this election because I want to bring in the next 4 years our district to a level that we haven't been. But we have made some tremendous stride in our district. I mean, we have brought unemployment down from 23% down to 6.2. We were able to bring crime down. Murders are down 67%. And that's because some of the initiatives that I have worked on, for example, when it comes to safety, I've been able to introduce the Cure Violence program, not only in our district, but citywide. The most effective crime prevention, gun violence, cure violence program in the nation, bar none. For example, in the area 183rd all the way to Fordham, we went 376 days without a gunshot. Prior to the program being there, we would have gunshots all the time. So we see in the level of effectiveness. In the 52nd precinct, they have gone through seasons where we have seen crime down 50% there. I mean, it's been simply amazing what we have seen. And when we see our schools are getting better through the funding that have brought forth over $50 million to bring technology to help the STEM program, after school program, fix the auditorium. It's been exciting to see the transformation in our school. And now we have seen an uptick of 15% of graduation rates in our district.
When you talk about education, obviously that's a main component, but also right there in our area, you're talking about housing. And
Yes.
many people are concerned about the housing crisis and what's going to be done there. How do you envision housing going forward over the next?
Well, you know, I'm very passionate about this. You know, I was the author of the Tenant Bill of Rights, and I have brought funding to making sure that we have more affordable housing units. But on top of that, now I'm working in rezoning of Jerome Avenue alongside with Councilmember Gibson, and we're looking forward to having over 4,000 brand new units of affordable housing in the Jerome area.
And so affordable housing, of course, is a major component of job development. It's something else as well. You talk about the Fordham Business Improvement District. You've got, you know, small business is the backbone of the American economy. You've got a huge net worth caching right there with Fordham Road. What do we see happening there?
Well, not only Fordham, but we have Kingsbridge, we have Burnside, and we have seen those businesses starting to do well. I was able to give, for example, the Kingsbridge Avenue Merchant Association, giving them funding, $25,000 a year. You know, before, during Christmas holidays, they had to put out their own money. They struggle as it is at times. So I say, hey, you know what? Why not help you out? And so they've been receiving that level of help. Same thing with Burnside Avenue, able to work with the administration, and they got $1 million through the Davidson Community Center, $1 million to be able to form a bid there and to upgrade what's taking place. And of course, the Fordham bid that we have there, I provide funding to them as well. And this is why they're the most successful bid in all of the Bronx.
When people run against you in a particular race, they always say, listen, we know running against somebody, you're the incumbent. But when you look at your record and do you feel as though that you've been able to deliver for your district?
Absolutely. When we see where we were in 2010 and where we see where we're at right now, and at the same time, if you look at the Furman report, we are not one of those areas where gentrification is taking place. So we have been able to upgrade. People are getting more jobs, more affordable housing, more safety, and at the same time, we don't have gentrification taking place. That is a formula for success for the people who live in our district.
Economic development is, of course, the key. And what do you see in terms of economic development?
Well, we've seen, again, in that area, tremendous growth in our area. And of course, we can't talk about economic development without the Kingsbridge Armory, and that is beginning to move forward again. And at the same time, we want to make sure that the businesses around the Kingsbridge Armory are protected, and this is why during the negotiations I make sure that there was funding provided to protect the businesses, and once this gets moving with this lease that has been kept on hold, now they're going to be able to get that level of support paid by Kinnick themselves.
Are we optimistic that this will happen sometime in the near future?
Well, that's what we're looking for, and everybody is pushing forward to making sure that it does happen. And if it doesn't happen, then we're looking forward to bringing another plan. But as it is right now, all of the local elected officials and community are pushing forward to make sure that happens.
What would you determine as the major priority that needs to be accomplished going forward in the next term for your district?
Well, I would love to see unemployment even go down even more. As a matter of fact, in 2015, when we compare unemployment with Riverdale, everybody always talks how prosperous Riverdale area is. We were only 0.4 percentage behind them in terms of unemployment. But I believe that we could do better. I believe that now, as I'm going to be the senior most member, I'm going to be able to have the best committee and the best leadership position to represent in the Bronx. And that's going to give me accessibility with the speaker, with the mayor, to be able to bring more resources to our area. This is our time, this is our moment. Imagine what I've been able to do now in the last 7.5 years, being the junior council member that the first time I came in, and now even more being a senior most. I mean, this is going to be an incredible time for our district.
Talk to me about the city council. Obviously, when you get elected, you got to deal with not just the borough, but you got to deal citywide. What do you feel that you are going to be able to contribute to most citywide as a councilman?
Well, you know, I have great relationships with my colleagues in government. And I think that's very important. I've been able to pass 15 pieces of legislation, and I have another 5 coming down the turnpike by the end of this year. And that is an amazing number. You know, council members are very happy if they get one every 2 years. And so I'm looking forward to passing more pieces of legislation, some of them dealing with juvenile justice legislation. I chair the Juvenile Justice Committee, and bringing that leadership that I have shown throughout the year. I was the co-chair of the Black Latino Asian Caucus, the chair of the Technology Committee, and to be able to have also some legislation dealing with health issues.
You got the final few seconds here, but for somebody out there watching right now, trying to still make up their mind as who to vote for, why would they vote for Fernando Cabrera?
Well, I would encourage them to vote for me on September 12th. I bring the leadership experience. I have a track record that my opponents definitely don't have. And it's not just 7.5 years, Darren. I'm talking about 28 years I've been working in this community as a pastor who started a church from scratch, and seeing young men who were bound by drug addiction and families that were torn apart, and seeing them being restored, and starting the first online counseling program throughout the state when I was a college professor and ran the counseling program at Mercy College. So I bring a vast amount of experience and leadership. Everything rises and falls based on leadership, and that's what they're going to get when they vote for me. And it's going to come down to who has the best resume, and I encourage them to look at my resume.
Councilmember Fernando Cabrera, the incumbent in the 14th District. Thank you so much for coming to share with us in the district.
Thank you so much.
All righty, listen, thank you for joining us. Listen, we want you to stay tuned. We'll be right back with more right after this.